Hello, everybody. Today we are having a special guest, Ata, and welcome to podcast, Ata.
Thanks, man.
And how are you?
I'm all right. Just it's 11 o'clock in the morning, but I slept in. So
Yeah, that's nice. So, and as always, we have Dominic on the other side. So, how you doing, Dom?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Thanks. Yeah, as you see, I'm sick, and the people will think why I sound like that. So, nothing to worry. Just I'm sick a little bit. And
Yeah.
Ata, first of all, let me ask you a question. Why do you think the league is fixed? And can you give us some examples about this?
I wouldn't say the league is so fixed. I just seem to think like somehow I think Fenerbahce just has some sort of strikes against them for some reason. It's you watch this league over the last few years, and I've just become a lot really disinterested in it. It just comes off as the Turkish Football Federation doesn't want this team to win for some reason. It's not like, well, it's like on the field. It's like it's all politics to me. It's just like it's like who you know or something like that. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
it's just every time I watch a game, I just seem to think like I don't think any of this seems to be legit.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the vibe I get from. People want to say like, oh well, I think you're just full of it, but I keep watching some of these games. It just seems as though some teams seem to play well against others, and just that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think that the politics is in this, right?
Well, you see all those pictures of some of those like ministers getting
Mm-hmm.
shirts and stuff. So obviously the suspicions are there. But really, can you really think like ever since that Fenerbahce won that 2011 league title, have they even has this league really had a legit champion? Some people would argue that there really isn't one. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, look at how the match fixing case developed. How is it that you have the same prosecutors of you've heard of the sledgehammer case and the Garricon cases, right?
Yeah.
No.
No, the Palios case and all that, with the generals and all that. Okay, well, you should go ahead and look those up because it's like the same patterns we're seeing in the match fixing case. You had like the same prosecutors who were just rounding guys up, putting them away in prison without any official charges and stuff. And to me, I seem to think that Fenerbahce is being made to pay for that particular championship. Now, I know that Fenerbahce won the 2014 league title, but something about that seems to get me off kilter. Now, personally, I would like to think that the league isn't fixed, but it just comes off as it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Go ahead.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's really strange to hear things like this. I've never thought that the league is already fixed before it starts. So it comes to me really strange. But I don't know what do you want to say about this, Dom. Maybe he has something to say.
No, it's just that there's a lot of strange things. I just notice a lot of strange things. Like
Uh-huh.
some of this stuff just off kilter to me. Usually
Yeah.
when I'm watching the major teams, you know.
Yeah.
You look at the whole deal. I could see tweets with Volkan Babajan, for instance.
Uh-huh.
Let's see how he does against the other teams. I hope he does as good, but things.
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes to Fenerbahce game, Volkan Babacan becomes really like Doctor Octopus. So he
Yeah,
becomes like a monster when he faces against us. So yeah, as you say, it's really strange. I don't know. Maybe it depends on welcome. The keepers. How they focus onto the game. Maybe it's not just for Fenerbahce against Fenerbahce. Maybe it's against the other teams, but I think it's like more like focusing on the game. So because
yeah.
Fenerbahce are the biggest side in the Turkey. You know what I'm saying? When you face
Mhm.
against a club like like Fenerbahce, you just focus like it's the best game of your life. You know what I'm saying? So you have to show the best performance as you can. So you because when you performance really well, so they know that some people watch the game. So you could move to bigger club. You know what I'm saying? Like you could also, as you see now, Volkan Babacan is the goalkeeper of Turkish national team.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just that's how I think. I mean, maybe his performance against the lower teams, like more Anatolian teams, like
Yeah.
Gençlerbirliği, or the other sides like Rize Spor. It might be he can't like get ready against them like he got ready against Fenerbahce. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I guess it's about focusing.
Yeah.
Maybe
Just I
he
guess focusing on different teams and such.
yeah
But
yeah
I guess you want an example of
uh
one
huh
time I thought the league was fixed. I would have to say like maybe the 2011-2012 season. You know that playoffs?
uh huh
Everything seemed to point to a setup of Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray in that very final game that was played in Kadikoy.
mhm
And Galatasaray only needed a draw to win, and it just seemed to be as though as if they got it. I mean, I just try and look at patterns and stuff, and it just looks as though that if Fenerbahce won that last game, everybody would have accused the TFF of fixing it.
uh huh
So
yeah
they have to make sure that Galatasaray wins. So I
yeah
guess if you wanted an example, it's just there's
yeah
a reason why I don't make this sort of thing public, but I still think like somehow you remember the Ferhat Kaplan thing from from what was it?
yeah yeah.
Last
Uh,
That
honey.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
yeah, I know, yeah. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about, but I can't remember actually though. But I know what you
yeah,
mean, yeah.
yeah.
But I
I
get,
mean,
yeah, go on, yeah,
if you're a goalkeeper, you would try and have your arm outstretched.
yeah,
Now, at least that's what I would think. Now, if the ball hits his hand and for some strange, freakish reason it bounces over his arm and goes into the net, well, that's one thing. But it just looked as though he didn't even try.
uh-huh, right,
You know.
yeah,
But
yeah. I mean
I
that,
guess those are the most obvious examples.
uh-huh,
But
yeah. I mean, let me tell you this. We played playoffs. As you said, we played against Galatasaray at home, and at this season, actually Galatasaray would have already won the league if there wasn't playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
so yeah, it was our unlucky to not win against Galatasaray at home. We should have won this one easily, and I think that TF if there wasn't if we won against Galatasaray in the last final game at home, the people would have thought that okay, TFF Turkish Football Federation made the Fenerbahce champion because if there wasn't playoffs, Galatasaray have already won the league. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
so things are like things I think things are belong to this destiny. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if there wasn't playoffs, Galatasaray have already won the championship.
yeah,
But if we won against Galatasaray in Kadikoy, so we would have won the league easily. So people would have thought like Turkish Football Federation made Fenerbahce the champions. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
things are belong to destiny. I mean destiny. So it's real complicated things. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they fix like it's real complicated to understand for before the league starts. How can they fix it? You know what I'm saying? It's really long story. They should
Yeah, it's a long stretch. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah.
but I always seem to think like all the weird stuff happens in the second half of the season,
Uh-huh,
and
yeah. No, yeah, right. If you think like it's the second leg of the season, yeah, it will get like more logical, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, there's like it's like illogical things.
Uh-huh, yeah.
I personally, I mean, I try and be as neutral as I can, but it just looks as though to me like there's just some things which are quite weird.
Uh-huh.
So it's not necessarily a fix. It just looks weird.
Yeah.
So
So
I
let's
mean, it's
yeah, I kind of got what you mean, really. So yeah, let's hear Dominic. I mean, he come probably he fell asleep. He's not here for a long time. Yeah, let's
uh,
open our ears for Dominic.
So your theory, your suspicions are more sort of like, well, I sort of agree. I mean, you talked about Ferhat Kaplan last season, Wesley Sneijder sort of shocked, actually the season before last, and he sort of outstretched his hand, but then brought it back, and Galatasaray, I think, as a result, I think they drew that game, and there was also a lot of other things in that game. I think Stancu, the Romanian striker, had a good chance at the end, and he sort of just kicked it straight at Muslera when he could have easily scored. So I remember being really annoyed at that match. I always thought, this is like obvious match fixing. I'd never seen any game like it, and even the sort of sports media around the world.
Yeah, so I had actually written a column up on World Soccer Talk about that game. So I think you could find it somewhere. I haven't written anything for World Soccer Talk since then, but I'm planning on doing maybe a few columns for them, at least if they'll have me. But yeah, I mean, I look at that game and I just think, well, this looks like it's suspicious. So why don't you investigate it? So, but they're not going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, why wouldn't they do it unless they sort of were trying to hide that it had been arranged? I mean, I've also had these suspicions, and so is it? You just think is it the Turkish Football Federation, or is it even this is being sort of higher power like the Turkish government that's sort of doing this?
Yeah, see, that's very hard to say. I mean, I can't really prove any of this, but I mean, I can just go by what my gut feeling says. But I mean, I see people like giving shirts to like political figures and things like that, and you saw what happened. Like you said, the season before last, Galatasaray went to, I think, the presidential palace, and the running joke was, well, it seems as though they're arranging for a championship or something. And they went on to be champions that season. Of course, we had the Fenerbahce bus shooting, which still has not been solved. So nowadays, you've got to sit with this whole FETÖ thing.
Yeah. Now we have it. Yeah, it's really unbelievable to hear that. I mean, too many former football, not a couple of former Galatasaray players, had a relationship with the FETÖ thing. FETÖ. We call it in Turkey right now FETÖ terrorist group. So they had relationship with FETÖ. I mean, I don't want to give the names, but it's really clear who has had relationships with FETÖ. Like Hakan Şükür, first of all, is the biggest Galatasaray forward. Striker in the Galatasaray history. So maybe people saying that they won some of the championship with getting help from FETÖ. I don't know what to say. So you have something to say?
Yeah. Well, there was things about during the match fixing case that said Emenike was counting money, and well, it's either he was just looking up maybe like a bonus or something, or he was like searching for was shopping or something. But that match fixing case from so long ago, it's the problem has been that once Fener fought back, it's like, well, I go with what Mehmet Berk. Well, not Mehmet Berk, but my gut feeling was if Trabzonspor actually won that league title, would that fixing case ever have happened? And I think the answer is no. I'm very sure the answer is no. So and I think Aziz Yildirim in that interview, I think he mentioned that Berk told him that in that NTV Sport interview from
I watched that
weeks.
one. Yeah.
So and one thing that I found surprising in terms of those protests was that you know who Ilkay Aslan is?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know who he is? Okay.
Of course, yeah.
He said that FETÖ ran into a yellow and navy blue wall.
I heard that one. Yeah, it was a really good example.
Yeah, but going back to the league for a sec, the 2011-2012 season was fixed. I mean, it just seems as though that super final was set up for a certain team to win. 2012, 2013, I can't really prove any of it, but it's like weird thing is like Galatasaray lost, and then Fenerbahce would lose their next game. So I just thought that was kind of weird. And it's like last season, Galatasaray wasn't doing so well, and I don't know. It just seems as though that if you still have FETÖ within the TFF, why aren't they? Why isn't the government going after FETÖ elements? You saw what happened when a bunch of the TFF officials resigned to help out with a FETÖ investigation. Yet everybody was back in their posts within like a week.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's like, how sincere are you to really clean up the game? I mean, you say, temiz futbol istiyoruz. Okay, well, see how far down the rabbit hole you'll go, man. I mean, it's like,
yeah, right. Yeah, you're just telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some questions like, yeah, maybe, yeah, I was just listening to what you were saying, and I got questions like, this was always been on my mind, like, Fenerbahce are the only side that playing for the championship every year, but every year, even that Galatasaray, sometimes Galatasaray been really bad, like last year, but we got Besiktas to uh, be being in the race with us for the championship, right? And back in the days, we had Bursaspor in the race. I mean, every year, even we play for the championship, there are some different teams play for the championship. It's really
Yeah.
complicated. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Well, the
really,
argument for last season is this, though.
yeah. I
Pardon
mean,
my pumping.
it sounds like somebody doesn't want us to be the champions in every year. You know what I'm saying? Because
Well,
we can easily be, like, sometimes Besiktas and Galatasaray be in the down, but they put Bursaspor or Trabzonspor. Every year some team play against for us in the championship race.
yeah. That's it's just strange that for a club as pretty well run as Fenerbahce, even though they have some debt issues of their own,
Uh-huh.
even though a well run club like that, I mean, you get second almost every time. I mean, it comes off to me as though like that match fixing case back all those years ago really messed up the club, and it's almost like, yeah, you got one championship since then,
Uh-huh.
but you had some of the political stuff in there where you had what we now refer to as FETÖ and the AKP go against each other in the graft cases and such. But it just comes off to me like there's a lot of political influence within the TFF.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
So it's all, I got, it's complicated things. It's really a long story.
Yeah.
So
It,
let me say you this, that